Introduction. Welcome to the garden of your life. Dear friend, step with me into the garden of your becoming. What if I told you that everything you need to create a life of profound contentment, authentic purpose, and lasting peace already exists within you? What if the very ground beneath your feet holds the potential for extraordinary growth, and the seeds of your greatest becoming are simply waiting for the right conditions to flourish? You hold in your hands more than a book. You hold an invitation to embark upon a journey of conscious cultivation, where your life becomes the garden and you become both the seed and the gardener, both the dreamer and the one who brings dreams into reality. This is not another quick fix manual promising overnight transformation. Instead, this is a patient companion for the long, beautiful work of growing a life worth living, the wisdom hidden in plain sight. We live in a culture obsessed with dramatic breakthroughs and instant results. Everywhere we turn, we encounter promises of rapid transformation. Change your life in 30 days. Breakthrough to success now. Find happiness fast. Yet despite our desperate pursuit of these peaks and pinnacles, something feels fundamentally missing. We achieve our goals only to find ourselves strangely empty. We reach our milestones only to discover that the destination feels less satisfying than the journey promised. Why does this happen? Why do our greatest achievements so often leave us feeling like something essential is still missing? The answer lies in understanding a profound truth that master gardeners have known for centuries. Sustainable growth happens not through force, but through alignment with natural principles. A wise gardener does not yank on seedlings to make them grow faster, nor does she plant tropical flowers in frozen ground and expect them to thrive. Instead, she works patiently with soil conditions, seasonal rhythms, and the inherent wisdom of living systems. Your life, dear reader, operates according to these same natural principles. Just as gardens flourish when we understand soil quality, water needs, sunlight requirements, and seasonal cycles, your well-being blossoms when you learn to work with rather than against the fundamental patterns of human flourishing. Beyond the tyranny of peaks, most personal development approaches focus on what we might call peak pursuit, the endless chase for mountaintop moments, breakthrough experience, and dramatic achievements. This orientation creates a peculiar form of suffering. We spend our lives climbing toward tomorrow's satisfaction while missing the beauty of today's unfolding. But what if contentment is not found at the summit? What if lasting fulfillment emerges not from reaching peaks, but from cultivating the quality of our everyday experience? What if the secret to extraordinary living lies not in occasional moments of transcendence, but in the gradual elevation of our ordinary moments? This book invites you into a different paradigm. Instead of chasing peaks, we will learn the art of baseline elevation, the patient, loving work of gradually improving the quality of your typical day, your regular thoughts, your habitual responses, and your ordinary interactions. Like enriching garden soil over seasons, this approach creates conditions where natural flourishing becomes inevitable. The 8 seasons of conscious cultivation. Your journey through these pages will unfold across 8 progressive themes, each building upon the last, like the natural layers of a thriving ecosystem. Think of these not as separate topics to master, but as interconnected dimensions of a unified whole, each supporting and enhancing all the others. Preparing the soil. Conscious creation and intention setting. Before any gardener plants seeds, she must understand her land. We begin by developing the groundedness and practical awareness necessary for authentic intention setting. You will learn to read the landscape of your current life, understand your authentic nature, and set intentions that align with your deepest truth rather than inherited expectations. Tending the resources. Stewardship and allocation. Every gardener knows that time, water, nutrients, and sunlight are the currencies of growth. We explore how to consciously steward your 4 primary resources: time, attention, energy, and money, while learning to work skillfully with constraints and cultivate the wisdom of your experiences. Daily cultivation. Intentional living. Gardens require daily tending, not just occasional dramatic interventions. Here we develop the sacred rhythms of pause, deliberation, and decisive action. You will create supportive habits and behavioral architecture while learning to align with natural cycles rather than fighting against them. Cultivating growth. Lifelong learning and Kaizen. Master gardeners remain forever students of the soil. This section embraces lifelong learning, skill development, in the Japanese art of Kaizen, small, continuous improvements that compound into extraordinary transformation over time. Strengthening the roots. Baseline elevation. Strong roots create plants that weather all storms. We focus on systematically improving your mental, emotional, and behavioral foundations while building the kind of resilience that enables growth through challenge rather than mere survival. Sharing the harvest. Contribution and prosperity. The purpose of the garden extends beyond its own growth to nourishing life. You will discover your unique gifts, align your work with your values, and create forms of prosperity that enhance rather than diminish the larger web of life. The peaceful garden. Contentment and harmony. In mature gardens, effort becomes effortless and work becomes play. We explore radical acceptance, the science of gratitude, and the integration of all elements into dynamic harmony. The eternal garden. Lasting inner peace. Finally, we cultivate the deep-rootedness that remains unshaken through all seasons. This includes physical well-being and as foundation, transcendent peace practices, and sustainable approaches that regenerate rather than deplete over time. How gardens really grow. Perhaps you have noticed something beautiful about gardens. They do not grow through struggle, but through optimal conditions. A seed planted in rich soil, given adequate water and sunlight, grows almost effortlessly. The gardener's role is not to force growth, but to create and maintain the conditions where growth happens naturally. This principle transforms everything about personal development. Instead of asking, how can I force myself to change? We learn to ask, what conditions support my natural flourishing? Instead of relying on willpower and discipline alone, we design environments, relationships, and daily rhythms that make beneficial choices feel natural and sustainable. This approach honors a profound truth. You are not broken and in need of fixing. You are not a problem to be solved or a project to be completed. You are a living system with an inherent tendency toward growth, healing, and wholeness. Our work together is not to impose change from the outside, but to remove obstacles and create conditions where your authentic nature can emerge and flourish. The art of patient transformation. I must share something important with you at the outset of our journey. The kind of transformation this book offers requires patience. Real gardens do not appear overnight. Soil improvement happens gradually. Root systems develop slowly but surely. The most magnificent trees grow rings of strength year by year, season by season. Our culture conditions us to expect immediate results, but the most meaningful changes in human life unfold according to a different timeline. The shifts we explore here are not dramatic breakthroughs that happen once and remain forever. They are subtle, ongoing processes that require consistent attention and patient cultivation. Yet this patience brings extraordinary rewards. When change happens gradually and naturally, it tends to be permanent. When growth emerges from optimal conditions rather than force, it creates not just temporary improvement, but actual transformation of your baseline experience. You do not simply achieve better results. You become a person for whom those results feel natural and sustainable. Your role as gardener and garden. One of the most beautiful aspects of this metaphor is how it captures the dual nature of personal growth. You are simultaneously the gardener who tends and the garden that grows. You are both the conscious agent of change and the living system being transformed. And as the gardener, you learn skills, how to read conditions, when to plant and when to wait, how to allocate resources wisely, how to work with natural cycles. You develop patience, observation, and the ability to see the larger picture even when day-to-day changes seem minimal. As the garden, you learn trust. Trust in your inherent capacity for growth. Trust in the wisdom of natural processes. Trust that consistent care will yield results even when you cannot see them immediately. You discover that your deepest healing and growth happen not through force, but through alignment with your essential nature. A living conversation. The pages ahead are designed to be more than information to consume. They are invitations to experiment, practices to embody, and questions to live with over time. You will find exercises that encourage deep reflection, practices that develop specific capacities, and integration activities that help you apply insights to your daily life. Consider this book a living conversation between us, not a lecture from author to reader, but a collaborative exploration of timeless questions. How do we create lives of meaning and contentment? How do we grow without forcing? How do we contribute to the world while honoring our own needs? How do we cultivate the kind of peace that enhances rather than diminishes our engagement with life? The promise of this path. I cannot promise you dramatic breakthroughs or overnight transformations. I cannot guarantee that following these practices will eliminate all difficulties from your life or fulfill all your dreams. Gardens, even the most beautiful ones, experience seasons of challenge alongside seasons of abundance. What I can promise is this: if you approach this work with patience, consistency, and genuine care for your own growth, you will begin to notice subtle but significant shifts in the quality of your daily experience. Your ordinary moments will gradually become more satisfying. Your responses to challenges will become more skillful. Your relationships will deepen. Your work will feel more aligned with your values. Your capacity for contentment will expand regardless of external circumstances. Most importantly, you will develop the kind of inner stability and peace that does not depend on everything going your way. Like a tree with deep roots, you will be able to weather storms while remaining flexible enough to dance with the wind. Beginning where you are. Perhaps you come to this book feeling overwhelmed by the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Perhaps you feel behind, as if everyone else has figured out secrets you somehow missed. Perhaps you carry wounds from past attempts at change that promised much but delivered little. Dear friend, you are exactly where you need to be to begin. Every master gardener started with a single seed planted in ordinary soil. Every magnificent garden began with someone willing to tend whatever ground they had available. Your current circumstances, however challenging they may seem, contain everything necessary for the next phase of your growth. The journey we are embarking upon together honors your starting point while inviting you into new possibilities. We do not need to wait for perfect conditions or ideal circumstances. We begin with what is real and present, then gradually create conditions where what wants to emerge can flourish. An invitation to begin. As we prepare to enter the garden of your becoming together, take a moment to feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the breath moving through your body. Feel the aliveness that courses through you in this very moment. This is where we begin. Not in some imagined future version of yourself, but in the living reality of who you are right now. You are holding in your hands an opportunity to participate consciously in your own becoming. You have chosen to invest your precious time and attention in the patient work of cultivating a life worth living. This choice itself is evidence of your inherent wisdom and your natural tendency toward growth. The garden of your life is waiting. The soil has been prepared by all your experiences, both joyful and challenging. The seeds of your potential are ready. The seasons of growth stretch ahead with their promise of gradual, sustainable transformation. Take my hand, dear one. Step with me across the threshold into the beautiful work of becoming who you truly are. The garden of your contentment awaits your loving attention. Let us begin.